Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar on preparing for change management success in Windchill. In this session, we'll explore proven strategies and practical steps to strengthen your organization's change management processes in Windchill, helping you streamline collaboration, reduce risk, and ensure smoother adoption across teams. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to submit your questions anytime in the Q&A panel. If we don't get to your question during the presentation, we'll be sure to reach out with answers after. Now, I am pleased to introduce today's presenter, Implementation Consultant Jonah Reason. Let's get started.
All right, hello everybody. As Ben said, I'm Jonah Reason, an implementation consultant here at EAC. I've been with EAC since February of 2021. I've been working with PTC products since 2010. I am the resident change management subject matter expert here, as well as implementing Windchill in general, CAD data management, bill of material management, document management, just everything in Windchill. So we'll move on here to an agenda. We got change management and PLM, some strategy around implementing, pre-implementation preparation. What should we do before we do this? Implementation. Best practices in change management, services that support change management, and then preparing your organization for success. Moving on a little bit about EAC. We're a PTC value-added reseller, working to transform the way your company designs, manufactures, connects to, and services your products. So we sell PTC products and then consult around them. Change management in PLM. What is it? It's the structured control of modifications to product data, design, and processes across the product lifecycle. Just managing changes. How do we do that? We'll get into best practices and such later. Scope. Controlling, evaluating, and implementing product or process changes to ensure traceability, accuracy, and alignment across all functions throughout the product lifecycle. Some comments around scope. It can be rather broad. We're going to have a functional scope. Who? Can have a big team. Engineering, manufacturing, quality, supply chain, service, compliance, customers, suppliers, all over the place. As well as what is changing. So the data, parts, and bills of material. If you're in Windchill managing bills of material, the design, CAD models and drawings, documents and specifications, baselines, work instructions, process plans, all of it. Then lifecycle scope, where in the development timeline are we? Are we in concept? Are we developing? Are we in production? Are we obsoleting this item? All those kind of have different processes around changing things when they're in those life cycles. Organizational scope, configuration control boards, cross-functional teams, engineering, manufacturing, quality, things to that effect. And then systems. Does this change affect ERP? Does it affect MES? Does it affect your CRM? And then does it affect the requirements management system? Then of course, connection to Windchill. Why Windchill? Windchill has change management out of the box, already set up. You could use it right away. But it runs on workflows, and it connects the design or process modifications to the organizational functions impacted. Why do it in PLM? First of all, why do it? Because, well, product complexity is increasing dramatically across the systems. Disconnected systems and manual workflows create inefficiencies and risk, meaning your data is already in PLM, so manage the changes to it in there. It ensures traceability, control, and accountability. And then kind of what I said before, Windchill unifies all that to manage all change activities from request to release. Moving on to some strategy. Executive sponsorship. This person ensures the project has vision, resources, and organizational support needed to succeed. Act as the bridge between the project team and executive leadership. So they'll provide direction, they'll secure resources, they'll remove roadblocks, and they'll be the champion of the change in the business. About this person, kind of one of my wish list, or part of my wish list for this person, is someone who knows the process in and out, and can provide guidance for the team, and then also help make difficult decisions, point us in the right direction, maybe break some ties, kind of things like that. Get early stakeholder engagement. All parties involved in change management should help in this project, defining current state and future state. We don't want to make decisions in a vacuum because they can have lasting effects on the organization. Involve everyone. People will surprise you with issues they face or needs they have that are usually easily satisfied. And if they're not, the sooner we can find out about them, the better it will be. And back to scope, this is getting into functional scope. Again, who are these people? Typically, engineering, manufacturing, quality, supply chain, service, compliance, IT, if this impacts the system that it's running in, customers and suppliers. The last two are interesting to me, at least. Go talk to your customers. Are we managing changes effectively for you? Same with suppliers. Like, are we informing you soon enough of these changes? Do you need to be informed sooner? What do you need to make this easier on everybody? Change governance. At a high level, what is this? I say change management projects need change management too. So we need to get a governing structure to enforce compliance and best practice, document the project change policy, create RACI charts, have a framework for approving changes to the project, and define a project champion. We talked about executive sponsors. The champion could be someone different. Again, but this person, I want them to be very informed of the current state process, very informed of what they want the future state to be, and things to that effect. Try not to be making changes erratically in the project. Evaluate them, approve them, and then make the change to the project or the process. Continuous improvement. Define the future state with objective metrics. Windchill does have out-of-the-box reports that you can use. You can write custom reports as well for your needs. Refine the change management process once it's initially rolled out and can be analyzed. It's hard to know what to change or to refine without it being in place. At a high level here, don't let perfect get in the way of good. We can make incremental improvements down the line. I like to say it's in the name. It's in software is what I mean by that. Soft meaning it can be changed rapidly. Do utilize the efficiencies that can be found in Windchill. Automation, we'll get into that in a little bit here. But all of this might require adopting new or modified processes. Generally be open to doing things differently. Pre-implementation preparation. What do we mean here? Assess your current systems. Do we have the proper tools in place? Presumably a lot of you have Windchill or a PLM system. And so where will we execute change management? As we've discussed, Windchill does this very well. It has it out of the box installed, ready to run. It's a framework of change management in place, but you could utilize it. Do we have the right licensing for these tools? Because we're going to include all functions, license counts will probably increase, or the need for more licenses will come up. So generally plan and budget accordingly. We can help you scope any license requirements out as well. Identify pain points or areas that need improvement. Now's the time to say, this isn't working well and we need to change it. Which comes in nicely to this point. Effective data management. What I mean by this is it's hard to manage changes to data if the data is not being managed in general. So the data requires management prior to being used in a change management process. If it's not controlled right now, it's hard to then manage changes to it. What does that look like? Revision control, logical lifecycle states, and access control on those lifecycle states. Again, presuming you are in Windchill. What is that? What do I mean by this? So an example is if an object or design is released, it cannot be modified at that current revision level. It must be advanced a revision level with a change of state to signify it is not released. We will help you audit this to make sure it's running effectively before we implement change management. There might be changes to how you manage your data as a result of implementing change management. Now, documenting your current state. This gets into functional scope again. Determine who from the business knows all the ins and outs of the current state so that they can document that. We need to provide the time for these individuals to focus on that documentation. So use your champion or executive sponsor to align that person's workload or the team's workload really to be doing this. Review the process, everyone involved, and associate actions deliverables from all viewpoints. And just generally include everybody. That's my biggest recommendation here. Documenting future state. Again, include as many people as possible. People will surprise you with what they provide. And when you're mapping this, you got to go to those people, go to the shop floor and talk with those people. What do they need to manage things effectively? What's working well? What's not working well? How can we adjust that? Get agreement for this future state. Let people disagree. That's okay. And we can adjust it and then get it approved. Define goals. What do we do? Why are we doing this? Are we trying to fix something, improve something? The current process might work great, but there's a digitization effort. That's a common theme here of getting it into a system. An example there is you might have a good, robust system, but it's a custom program, and the sustainability of that is in jeopardy because it's been written many years ago and been updated throughout the years, and we need to get it into a standard system. For documenting your future state, EAC can assist here with a workshop. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Some best practices in change management. Utilize some industry standards. One of the bigger ones for change management is called configuration management 2, which says report problems, request and approve changes, and then implement those changes. All along here, no changes when the data or objects, change requests are being reviewed. So what do I mean by that? If a CAD model and bill of material are being implemented, changes to them are being implemented, they should be locked when they go to review. If I'm a designer and I'm updating a CAD model and I complete it and I send it to the engineer for review, at that point, the CAD model becomes under review. It cannot be modified because we do not want to be modified during or after it gets reviewed. Same thing for change requests. If a change request is with an administrator for review, it's locked, cannot be modified. And then what does your quality system certification say? A lot of you are probably ISO or QS certified, maybe even other certifications. What do they say we should do? I know a lot of those quality systems say you shall do things like this, you shall do that. Been involved in ISO certifications and things like that. So they provide a lot of guiding principles as well. Have a test environment if you're going to implement change management in Windchill. We need to have a test environment. If you need to work with IT to get new hardware to do this, do that early because we do not want to be implementing this on a production system because it's a production system. We don't want to be making changes that impact the day-to-day operation of the business. It can also slow the project down because some of the configuration might require a Windchill restart, and we can't do that during the middle of the day because, well, people are working in it. So if you don't have a test environment, let us know. We can help. It won't take very long once we have the hardware set up. If you're on premises, if you're in PTC Cloud, well, you probably already have test environments. So automation and notifications. Remember what the downstream users need to know. Include them in notifications or give them a task and ask them that. Do you need to just be informed with an email or do you need a task to go do something? You can do both, but with Windchill, you can give a workflow task that's going to send an email and the workflow will stop for them to complete it. Or you can send a notification just to inform them. And that's all automated for you. Needs to be configured, of course, but it's all sent automatically. Clear process definition. I like to standardize and proceduralize change processes. Put them in your quality management system. Make them a procedure and corresponding work instructions. When it's in the quality system as a procedure, it's official and it must be adhered to. I like to write this independent of the tool being used, at least the procedure, and then the work instructions can walk people through how we execute the procedure. To me, a Windchill guide is not a quality system procedure. It can contribute to the work instruction, but a Windchill guide is just a guide. It's truly a work instruction, and it's not as impactful as a quality system procedure. And why do I want to do this? Because training and support. When it's in the quality system then says, if the procedure is updated, we have to inform people and train them on the changes, as well as be usually yearly training requirements for procedures that apply to a given department. As we saw before, change management is broad, and they're going to have to review those procedures as time goes on. Therefore, it gets put on their yearly training requirements for all change management participants. And then the first point here is provide role-specific training for everyone who will participate in change management. We can help write that training material as well, but we want it to be custom content that is specific to your business process. Moving on, services from ESC that can support change management. I mentioned it before, but we can run workshops. They'll help educate the business on change management in Windchill. We'll define the requirements in your future state, and this creates a good foundation for executing and implementing change management in Windchill. A sample agenda here is an overview of change management, current state assessment, Windchill change management capabilities. You can do a hands-on exercise and demo. We'll document your requirements, document your future state, and then talk about adoption and training strategy. These can be on-site or remote. If they're on-site, they're usually 3 to 5 days, depending on how big your process is. If they're remote, we usually meet 1 to 3 times a week. If remote, it's going to stretch that timeline out. Either option is going to be a time commitment. So again, use your executive sponsorship or project champion to align everyone's schedules so that they are available to participate in the workshop. Of course, we can implement this for you too as well. We can take your requirements in future state and implement it in Windchill. We have project managers on staff to manage the project. We have PTC certified consultants to implement the solution in Windchill. A recommendation here on an implementation project is, while we have project managers, I do like a project manager on your side of things. It just is easier to manage your business side of things when that person exists. It doesn't need to be someone who's not involved in change management, but a general point person who can speak knowledgeably on the project and process and drive that change in the organization. Now a word I made up, implementing. It's kind of it's mentoring, but what we do here is we can mentor your Windchill administrators on implementing change management. And so we train them how to do it. And while we're training them, we actually do it, which is implement change management. Everything we just talked about still applies, but EAC consultants can sit with your administrators and configure change management for Windchill. And then they walk away with a deeper knowledge and can administer change management for you. But again, this requires some time investment. So use your sponsorship here to free up time for those people. Preparing your organization for success. Do build awareness across teams before rolling out change management initiatives. Keep people informed. Ensure executive sponsorship and stakeholder alignment. Get agreement across the board here. Create a culture that embraces continuous improvement. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. Let's get something in place that is an improvement of our current state, and we can continue to improve it over time. Every project in life faces that. Everything could be perfect, but we gotta incrementally improve. Some key takeaways and next steps. Change management is essential for handling complexity in modern product development. Documenting the processes and identifying gaps are the foundation of improvement. Windchill, combined with the best practices and expert support, help companies achieve lasting efficiency. If you're ready to do this, let us know and we can guide you through those next steps.